Starting in the hero seat, softening the toes and the fingertips, softening the shin bone into the ground, like melting into the ground. When you feel the pelvic floor really like a half balloon, which is deepening into the ground and into the feet. Touch the lower belly. And visualize here a little seat of power, the seed center, like planting a seed of your inner power. Just visualize maybe a little ball, a light ball, or a star, or even a flower, just to focus here as a sort of center point where forces going into the feet, into the legs, into the ground and up into the sky, through the spine. And then going to the ribs and just touching the ribs and feeling the back ribs. Are they falling forward? Can you breathe more into the back ribs? Can you even lift up the back ribs and seeing the rib cage from here like a sort of ring? Three-dimensional ring. So breathing into the side ribs, then to the back ribs, then into the front ribs, and lift the ribs from this earth energy, from this seed center down, planting into the earth, while the ribs rising up to the sky. And then make little circles really consciously into the back ribs, into the side ribs, especially back ribs, and working more on the feeling of roundness in the ribs. And feel where the tissue is stick, not so movable. Yeah, most of the people have one side here in the back ribs, in the kidney area, where you can push more. Do the circle in the other direction 3 times again. Still softening toes and fingertips and really focusing sort of on the bottom of the heart, the diaphragma. On the diaphragma sits the heart, in the middle of the diaphragma, and you're really creating space here for this lower area in the ribs. Now again, breathing into side ribs, back ribs, front ribs, and pull them away and lengthening your waist from the pelvis. Push the pelvis down, the ribs up and back. And now imagine sort of fist or a little sun inside in the solar plexus, and the sun rises up to the spine, up to the top of the head and out. So we call this the solar disc. It is a shining light, and it helps you to center the ribs. While the pelvis is tilting with the tendency that the ribs going forward. So using this roundness in the ribs to let this light shine. And with that, just a moment also here, the head center, release the mind and fill up even more the pelvic area and the heart area, and then rising into a free spirit. From there, side to side, reaching, fingertips in front, softening the fingertips, pull the hands back and rise up into a beautiful spring lower. Just finding yourself here, finding the tissue around your body, maybe doing some extra movement for yourself. Maybe again, finding this back round ribs, both direction. But see what your fascia suit needs. Good. From here we go together. Soft feet, but strong feet. Push the feet in the ground, heels in, knees out. Soft fingertips, but also grounded fingertips, and rise up in the heart. From here, lift from the heart to dome shape, right. Lift from the heart, release the neck and the head, dome shape, left. And now walking really like pars to the side, like a tiger, really soft. Elbows to the side, and now we want to open and lengthen the space between ribs and hips. So you pull the hands back, you're already stretching the belly. Push back and front from the hands and resist here in counter action. One more, breathe in, lengthen, open the right ribs, but don't forget the left rib. And again, from the heart and the hand working together. Don't drop the heart. Other side, elbows to the side, hands back, knees forward, and then open the ribs. Finding the waist and the neck working together like two spools. And here again, I come to a shorter distance of spring load, a bit like a dog which sits down and rise up. Pushing again the feet in the floor, isometric push inward from the heels, outward from the knees. Push more into the right foot and just first finding the knee like an open book. Open it, but keeping the pelvis tilted forward. Now again, and I put the palm of the foot down and come into a sort of squat sitting. Bring the hands back, the knee back. Push the feet first, rise the hips up, push down, open, sit in the hip. Do this a few times and working here with the palm of the foot, put it down, sink into the hip, push from the para, come back. Again, put it down, sink and soften the hip, strength from the palm of the foot and down. One more time, stay here and now feel yourself like a gorilla. Pushing the fist and the seat hands into the ground, pushing the palm into the ground, hips back. But now we're working on the center today. We're rising up from the psoas. Hips back and down, feet and hand down. Reach up, reach and lengthen. Now let's see where's the ribs. Ribs to the side, to the back and up and lengthen the space between ribs and hips. One more here and then again like a panther or gorilla, work forward. Other direction. Hips are soft in the front, nearly rising, falling down and rising back. Knee first, foot push into the ground, then put the palm, then sink into the hip, but rise up from the sit bones. Again, working counter forces. It means like one direction down, the other up. But there are more forces, not only up and down. The belly goes forward and up. The ribs going to the side and back, and you're very strong, like you want to jump up, really like a gorilla in the jungle. From here, come forward. One more preparation for the psoas. Open the square leg, bring it forward, hips back, open the leg to the side, and then step with the foot softly forward. Bring the foot forward enough. Feel your feet really clear, soft toes. Heel is pushing down and pulling back. Sit bone in resistance, backward. Also here the other heel is important. Push it in, knee down and forward, hip back. And from here it's again like the gorilla, where we just feel this first. Elbows to the side, hands down and back, upper arms forward. This gives you the length and the space. Now push from seat, hands here into the legs, and from there sit bone, pelvic floor back, up from the psoas. It's really from the hips. Even if you're going down, don't collapse here in the head. Maybe take the hand on the head, push the head back, keep this, and just playing with the hips. Like in German, a Schaukel. Swing, like a swing, I think this is the right word. Push down, feet first, open leg, knee and hip, foot and knee. Find what you already built up here, the length in the hip, the sit bone in resistance or in counter balance, backward and up. Again, square leg, right leg, open leg. Now take care, here's the tendency to curl the pelvis under. Try to bring it forward without curling. Feet forward, Heel down, pull the heel back, find the hamstring, gorilla shake, and then seat, hands, push down and back, breathe in, and finding here you can see it, this quality of a long psoas. The psoas starting in the inner thighs, in the trochanter major, and if you're keeping the pelvis tilted, you really can stretch it. And it's ending here where the solar disc start. So maybe even finding the back ribs and the last thoracic vertebra back, the ribs to the side, get up and then do it from these 2 points, inner thighs and back ribs. Oh, it makes it even better. Good. From here again, open leg, keep the pelvis. Down and down. Okay, next step. Hands more to the side. Lengthen the belly and widening the heart. Give the right hand forward. Seat hand. Eyes big. Pull the elbow down, but don't drop the heart. Elbow down, but don't drop down and back. Don't drop the heart. Bring the knee behind the hip, and you're in front of the patella. Here, take care that the knee are not too close. The heels are back, but very, very engaged. The heels pull into the sit bone, and the sit bone want to pull to the heels. Softening a bit the belly and lengthen the pupil bone away from the belly button. Push the hands into the ground, finding your back ribs. Ooh. Now finding the lumbar spine, hollow down. The upper ribs, back ribs, up. Now working from the inner center, from the hips, but also from the spine under the belly button. It's rise forward, the elbows pulling back. You push forward, the center, push back. And it's also a bit from the heels and the feet. It's like pushing yourself, a bit like standing on the floor and pushing, rising. When you're going back, it's from the hips, behind and up. It's not from the neck and the heart. This stays stable. We want to find this inner idea of center, the seat center. This is our own work. It's a word. It's not existing in the Bowspring, but I like the idea that we have an inner seat there in the lower belly. Okay. From here, push the feet. Push the feet down and come up even, like a crouching cat. It swings arms. And here now, heels back, hips back, but it's the belly which rises forward and backward. Ah, yes. Keeping this when you're coming down. Push the hands to the side. Now like a lizard, long, long, long belly. Landing on the solar plexus. Release for a moment, just softening and moving. From here, prone, bow. Pull the knees up. Push the heels with resistance into the sit bone and sit bone into the knee, going side to side, and again finding this area here, the hip flexor. Getting a nice stretch. Engage the hero feet, especially the opposite feet, pulling the heel into the sit bone and sort of parallel park in the hip, side to side. Good. And bring the feet back again. Little wave leg, but not so much. Hands to the side and take care about the elbow. Elbow forward, not backwards. Hand pushing back. Now rising up a bit like a cobra, but still with a tilted pelvis. Now lift up the dome hands and open the space again between the ribs, but also between hips and ribs. Oh yes, this is good for the belly muscle too. Other side. Reach. Take care of the head. Don't need to have too much energy there. It's more from the ribs and the hands. One more side, and it's also from the back muscle. Yes. And bring the hands in front of you. Seat hands, eyes big. push the hands into the ground, pull the hands back and rise up from here, long and strong. Already engage the long belly, pull a bit the knees to the hips and the hips up into the ceiling, but it's more about here the upper heart. Maybe the belly don't need to be too bold. Push and reach. Hands to the front. Lift the right leg, the right knee, sorry. Push the feet into the front ground. Heels together. Left knee. Good. Now, right knee, left hand. Take care here for the head and working more from the back ribs. And other side. Yes. Okay. Good. Now roll to the side first. Side bow here. Take care. Maybe an extra shift of the pelvis that you get again the inner thighs till the solar disc. Ribs back. Open belly. And then just a little here, both hands. Just visualizing a tube here in the neck, but a special tube here in the belly, a push from the feet, and then creating space in your whole central channel. Breathing in, keeping the head and the neck open, pushing the feet into the ground, maybe right foot, even hero feet. Glute engaged, just to feel the extension, the expansion. And come back to the mat, to the back. From here first, soft toes still, push the heel in the ground, and again tilting the pelvis in a way of strengthening and lengthening the hips. But now, most essential is the ribs. Get the ribs up and finding them down. So maybe touching the solar plexus and push it even stronger into the floor and see the tendency of the pelvis tilting into the other direction. But while the pubic bone rises away from the solar disc and down, the solar disc is even more round and rounding, like that. You see my tendency also then when we're doing this. We're shortening the neck, we're shortening the lower belly. This is the interesting work for today. Neck open, lower back open, but ribs back, and we will do some exercises for that. So the hands pushing up and the solar disc and the radiant heart pushing down. You come forward with the hands and shaking the head, maybe still back, and really touching here the back rib and feeling the back rib going first side to side, like softening the ribs down into the ground, pulling the heels back, tilting the pelvis. This is the hard stuff. Maybe look to it first. Little crunches is okay. Side to side, like a rolling side to side. Now make it more clear. Right hand on the head, open the throat, open the belly, but push down. Now, left hand to the right, and make a little diagonal work here. Left rib to right hip, heels are still pulling, hips are still long. 1 and 2, and really feel the engagement around the ribs. Gee. Maybe I was crimping my neck still. So ribs to hips, but ribs down, hips down. Oh, now I feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4, give me more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yee-hoo. Bring it down again. Hands down here. Elbows up. Pull the hands back, the shoulders widening. Get the heels up. Keep the angle in the knees and going up and down. Here, again, all the time. Ribs round, 3-dimensional. Hips long. Neck open. Then you engage the muscle in the right way. And then you can have strong and long muscles. That feels even easy. I don't know why. But yeah. And then bring the heels down. Still push down, pull in. Hips long. Ribs touch again. Now the arms, 1,
little side to side rolling, just a little, and then just push them out while you push this really backwards. Yeah, or three-dimensional, just finding the arms in connection with the solar disc idea. So this is even soft, sometimes with the tendency to do that. So this is not good. So kidney area down, solar disc into the throat, into the neck, and then really maybe closing the eyes and visualizing this light under the heart, through the neck and top of the head. Now let's give this together. Seat hands, squeezing the base part, opening the knuckles, and let's have here 8. Really clear, shaking both sides. If you can manage to put the heels down, good. If it's clicking in the hip, then keep it more up. Reach long. Open the neck. Breathing still, breathing in and exhaling out. Good. From here, side to side. Keeping now the legs and the ribs, the arms and the neck. And when you're changing, it's very challenging, but keep the legs long, looking to the side, reaching, squeezing the base part, opening the knuckle heads, also the arm muscle. This feels so good. I hope the same feeling. Okay, come back, release just for a moment, in and out the hips, massaging even the organs. Sometimes it's even helpful to have a good digestion and relaxed organs to work in the deeper muscles. I find out when the people are cramping in the large intestines, this influencing also the muscles. So, next round. From here, the hands giving you stability and focus in the radiant heart and the neck. The hands pulling back, the shoulders pulling even a bit down. The elbows pulling down, but the chin push up and a little bit back, and the head push down, so the neck has a nice curve. The ribs again. Maybe we need to work away from the pelvis. Ribs down, hips away. Now, left leg over right leg. Pull this in, then left arm under right arm, and now a bit classical exercise, but very good for finding all this beautiful muscle. Phoenix position, classical exercise. I mean, this is not a bowspring exercise or belly strengthening exercise. Keep the head on the floor. Lengthen and feel you really find the lower belly, I guess. One more. Yoo-hoo. Not bad. Other side. Right leg under the left, right arm over the left, and right arm under. And from here, in and out. Breathing out when you're closing. Breathing in when you're going down. 4 more. I think you feel this lower belly area. 2 more. Yeah. Open. Just shake it a bit. Next. Here, first under. Now you can keep the upper body down, or what is very nice, lift it up, finding a very good alignment head and neck, left arm under right. And here it's like a stretch, even the heels pulling to the hips pulling down and away from the belly. Lengthen and strengthen here the arms and finding an inner center. Then first the hands, then the heart, other side, wrap it around. Wrap it down first, head, then the arms. And again, lengthen it open. You can even pulse here if this feels good, or just stay here in an isometric way, but finding the central channel, finding the solar disc even here, into the neck, into the top of the head. Ooh, Come back and let's roll to the left side. One more here, pelvis really behind the shoulders, arm even in front of the head. Both hands. Push, open leg, push both lower sides, the foot and the elbows down, and creating now what we were really building up, a reach from this area, maybe touching here, and feel that the belly gets elastic, the foot and the feet getting strong, the hips getting engaged and long. From here, really enjoy this feeling, what we were building up. Baby bow. One more. Super. Then from here, rise up from the ribs. Come to the sit. Last one for the belly. Keep the concentration. Keep the hair fine. Hero feet, soft toes, push down. Quite big angle here. Touch the kneecap and feel that you're not just rising from the ribs and the neck, but out the pelvic floor, rooting in this idea of the seat from the power from here, then finding the solar disc again, rising up and leaning back, and do this here a few times. And here, be careful that the head is not too heavy. That's why it's also helpful to push the head into the hand. It's like a wheelchair here, or no, a rock chair, a wheel rock chair, I don't know, Schaukelstuhl in German. Google what means Schaukelstuhl. But keep it long when you're coming back, keep it long when you're going back. Tilting the pelvis the whole time, maybe both hands once here. Good. And then, chin up, pull the elbows down, rising into the rib. What is about the neck here? Finding the waist like the second neck and moving from the long waist and the ribs side to side. As more you lean back, as harder it is. So good. One more. Ooh, come back. I think if you never find the psoas muscle, now you can feel it here in the hip. Massage it a bit forward, softening it, and if you can, come from here to all fours. Now let's work into this hip muscles even more, not so much in strength, more in balance. Heels together, knees out, open the leg to the side and finding the power of the foot, the soft toes. This exercise is for me, this is also not a classical Bowspring exercise. You're going side to side. You're going to the right side, to the left side, and observe my left foot, my left toes, pushing like I want to jump here away. So keeping everything you had. The gorilla feeling, maybe one more time. Hard up, hips back, strong and long. Little hip exercise here, push into the inner knee and finding the hip up, push into the outer knee and do the movement again. Isometric work, but really engage in the inner and outer hip. Good. From here then, come a bit closer, get the foot, the back foot up and come up here into the position of little forward squat or lunge pose. Sit here and again lengthen up, finding the back leg a bit more behind, turn it forward, side call. But working the foot into the ground, the hips back and the belly long. Just enjoy it, using all the muscle you were building up. Never go back in the head alone, keeping the central channel also here, solar disc from the ribs to the head. One more. And then when you're rising up, keeping all this, turning the knee in, let's see from here, push the foot forward and keeping the knees back. Again, psoas work,
Push yourself away from the hamstring, maybe touching the hamstring. Lengthen the psoas. Maybe from the head here. Oh, super. And then the pyramid. All the things stays. Foot push forward, heels back and down. Long hips and twist and lengthen. Super, from here, hands behind, come up, recover pose, step back, hands forward, one hand down, one hand up, also here, gorilla, and light center, light heart, strong feet, heels are up, come down, right foot, keeping the pelvis, left foot. Other side. Open the leg while you're tilting the pelvis. Bring the right foot to the side. Show a bit from here. And going here, you can see what I mean. Side to side. It's a bit like you want to jump to the side, and it's interesting maybe to do so. Up. Hip stay. Good. Then the knee in. Push in and down, but finding the counterbalance between inner knee and outer hip. And then outer knee, touch the outer knee, sorry if you can see it. And again, here, finding the ET band, the tensor fasciae latae, the outer hip. What's about the right heel? Push this also in and good. Okay, from here, sort of tucking those under, coming up, but like a ninja, very strong. Back leg integrated, side coil, throat and belly stay open, and we're working really from the hip back in front. We're working from the foot, the back heel, push back, the toes get longer. And I'm asking myself, what about the ribs? Finding the back ribs maybe for a moment, then lengthen from out there, finding the solar disc into the head, and try to integrating also the back side. Not only the vertical side, but also horizontal. Ring of the ribs. One more. Then from here, rise up. Ooh. Hips back, knees back. And then here's the tendency again. Ribs back, side, and up. So a lot of direction. Maybe here, genie arms. Push the elbows out, push the shoulder out, push the lower arm down, rising into your back rib. But keeping, this is better, the knees back, belly long. Psoas is attached here and here. So if you're pushing it more back, the psoas can work better. Good. Keeping all this, feet pushing clearer back. Check the back heel. Twist pyramid. Oh yes. Woo-hoo. Twist and lengthen. Good. From here, come back. Manita. Stretch it long. First softening in the pelvic floor, but toe in the pelvic floor, and then finding all what we will build it up. A long and strong waist. Around ribs. Solar disc. And then you're so wide you can lift the heels and you can push in all directions like a rising star. From the seat center and from the radiant heart. Keeping this when you're coming forward. Even here, a light stretch. Again, the hamstring work forward. Just a little stretch here and softening the psoas muscle, gauging the lower belly, opening the back ribs. Just breathe here and melting. And from here, knees together. And just arm to the side,
sliding to the side. One more time, lifting the ribs, pulling them down, lengthen here, push the hamstring, or let's say the humerus bone into the hamstring, and maybe just a little twist here. Right heel or feet on the outside of the knee, left foot to the left, hips to the left, and just a moment here. Twist and open, reach. Also here like a rising star, finding the center of the star into the fingertips and toes. Finding the lower spine getting lengths and twists. This feels so good. Cross over to the right, like outer spiral, neck and waist. Knees up, hips back. Finding a good expansion in the whole tissue, reaching from the middle out to the periphery. Last one. Freedom pose, maybe very easy, rolling side to side, like massaging the pelvis. Really soft, like freedom. And then if you want one more power pose, touching the knees, being strong in the hips, finding the ribs and the solar disc long. And even here come up, reaching the feet even more forward, finding this seat hand, squeezing the spine, open the knuckles. Then from the center to the foot and the toes and the hands, reach out and maybe make a sound like wah, like a lion. Ah, yes. And then put the head down, the heart down, and melt into the ground. Get the popo out. Arms to the side. Ah. I hope you feel like me, strong but also relaxed after this workout. This was the first series of the summer workout. More will